Get ready for a whole new Princess of Power with Netflix's She-Ra. I actually never stumbled upon She-Ra until a few years ago, when Netflix added the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas episode to their holiday selection. It became a staple in my Christmas viewing. It's campy, it's silly, it's got magical princesses. What else could a meatball head like me want? So when I heard Netflix was rebooting the series, I was stoked to see a new interpretation of the adventures in Etheria. What's up, guys? For Nerdwire, I'm Kris Carr, and this is Nerdflix and Chill, giving you a sip before you binge. Is the new She-Ra worth watching? Let's find out. For the honor of Grayskull! As always, we're gonna cover some light spoilers, so if you wanna go into She-Ra completely blind, now's your chance to turn back. We're immediately immersed in a Thor Ragnarok-esque dystopian land and meet Adora, an orphan and soldier who's been trained since her infancy for one purpose: to fight against the evil members of the rebellion and the citizens of Brightmoon. Her best friend and bunkmate in the barracks is Catra. They live in the Fright Zone and have been training under Shadow Weaver. Okay, seriously, Fright Zone, Shadow Weaver, how aren't these red flags? Adora stumbles across a sword in the forest. When she touches it, she sees some crazy visions. Thinking perhaps this could be a key to her unknown past, Adora ventures back into the forest on her own. Once there, she stumbles across the rebel scum she's heard about her whole life, Princess Glimmer and Bow.
Horde soldier!
I see her!
Ah!
Okay, the Brightmoon Rebellion seems a lot cheerier than the Horde. I don't think I'm being tricked. I don't think a pastel-covered army can be that sinister. Turns out, these guys aren't the baddies. Adora and the rest of the Horde are the ones who've been causing havoc and destruction.
Ever since the Horde got here, they've been poisoning our land, burning our cities, destroying everything in their path. And you're a part of it!
Adora is floored by this revelation and shares her newfound knowledge of the war with Catra.
They've been lying to us, manipulating us, Hordak, Shadow Weaver, all of them. Duh! Did you just figure that out? Manipulation is Shadow Weaver's whole thing. She's been messing with our heads since we were kids.
Yeah, dude, seems pretty obvious. This is a nod back to the original story, but here, we're much more straightforward about Adora having to question her entire moral compass. Should she turn on her friends who she's been raised with? Is it the responsibility of the princesses to come together to protect citizens rather than hide within their own kingdoms? We see a likable potential hero with questionable values, and once presented with all the information, can come to her own conclusions about what's right and wrong and questions authority along the way. We have a much more dynamic Adora. Plus, she's got a magical girl transformation sequence, so y'all know I love that. Over the course of 13 episodes, we're eased into the conflict against Hordak and his minions. First, focusing on characters, their powers, and the relationships between them. While many have mixed feelings on the sort of Ben 10 animation style that's dynamic and beautiful one minute and then stark and simplistic the next, I don't think you can argue that the character design is incredibly interesting. All the princesses are unique, from floral powers to tech heads with weaponized hair. They're a delight to learn about and definitely more rounded than their 1980s counterparts. It's important to note that the original series was She-Ra, Princess of Power. This time around, this is She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. So immediately, Netflix clues you into the fact that She-Ra isn't a one-woman act. This series focuses hard on unity, the power of the combined forces of a team, and, of course, girl power. Glimmer wants her mother to see her as a warrior despite not having strong powers. Mermista is pretty salty and doubtful a princess alliance will work. Perfumia is a pacifist who doesn't like getting involved in acts of violence or aggression. Entrapta isn't just some Horde lackey, but rather a creative, albeit poorly socialized inventor trying to find her place among princesses. Frosta is 11 and trying to prove that despite her age, she's fit to rule and can do so with an iron fist. But it isn't just the magical ladies on the series serving up justice against the evil Horde. Bow is often utilized as the heart of the group and a voice of reason, proving, very literally in one episode, that you don't need powers to stand up for what's right. Everyday people are needed to enact great change. Plus, I really like this dude, Seahawk. He's like Han Solo.
Qualifications. I once ran the 50-click Gale Breath Gauntlet in less than 20 clicks.
It's a measure of distance, Han, not time. He's way more fun than the original series' potential love interest version.
Broil me in butter and call me a flounder. That was a close one.
At the heart of the series, though, is the relationship and rivalry between Catra and Adora. Unlike the original series, Catra is also raised by Shadow Weaver. These two aren't merely rivals, they're basically sisters with a very Nebula Gamora dynamic. They're two orphans who've been manipulated to not only believe in their war cause, but to try and outdo one another every step of the way. And while the girls initially have each other's backs, it seems that Catra holds a long-brewing grudge against the seemingly perfect soldier Adora. Rather than just two women duking it out for the sake of good versus evil, in Netflix's version, we see two closely bonded friends who have a real love for one another. Adora thinks she can get Catra to see how truly horrible the Horde is, while Catra, for a while, thinks she can bring Adora home and go back to the way things were. As the series progresses, though, we see a power-hungry side of Catra emerge as she steps out of the shadows of both Adora and Shadow Weaver. Now, this character arc, to me, is what really makes the show. And sure, She-Ra isn't running around in a strapless, backless bustier and has shorts, but I don't see why that's a bad thing. She's dressed functionally. For everyone mad at this show before watching it because it didn't look like the circa 85 edition, just go watch that one. This is a She-Ra made for new fans, not dudes who watched it back in the 1980s. And honestly, even though it is geared towards a young female demographic, I think fans of the original series will really enjoy this new one. The show has some serious Sailor Moon, Legend of Korra, and Steven Universe vibes. If you're into any of those, I think this show will totally be up your alley. It's fun, diverse, well-paced, and definitely coming back for a second season, so I think you should give it a shot. If She-Ra was a drink, it'd be a strawberry milkshake. It's sweet, and sure, it's probably made for a kid, but don't kid yourself. You enjoy it still as an adult, it hits you right in the nostalgia, and it's kind of addictive. These are just my thoughts on Netflix's She-Ra reboot, and I'd love to hear what you think of the series below. For more reviews and theories on your favorite cartoons, click to the left of my face, or check us out on Roku and Plex. Thanks for watching. Until next time, remember, all things in moderation, except your shows.
I am She-Ra!